Hey, drop.
Welcome, guys, to Buchanan County Sports Podcast. First, I want to welcome my co-hosts here, Tim O'Quinn and Chris Pack. Want to start off by mentioning some of our sponsors. The shirts and the banner that you see in front of us was provided by Hometown Vinyl of Grundy, Virginia. Another sponsor, Food Dude of Honaker, Virginia. Bellasinos of Grundy, and Bostic's Sealing and Stripping of Grundy, Virginia. Also want to give a huge shout out to Southern Gap Outdoor Adventures Visitor Center, which has been so kind enough to host us here today in their wonderful facility. And first, I'd like to start off telling a little bit about how the podcast came about. I started the Buchanan County Sports page back in 2017, July, I believe. And for the past 8 years, tried to keep track of all the high school sports of the county and give a lot of the athletes recognition and stuff, and always had in the back of my mind that I would like to do a podcast. And got ready to start it a few years ago, but just never could find anybody to assist in it. I reached out on the Facebook page over the summer, and Chris was actually one of the first ones to reach out to me that he would like to help. And shortly thereafter, Tim did as well. So what we're going to do is hopefully this final season of the three of the high schools in Buchanan County provide, some coverage and stuff for all three of the high schools, as well as council. We definitely don't want to forget about them. And every sport, whether it's baseball, basketball, football, wrestling, tennis, golf, it don't matter. We'll cover them all, give all athletes the same recognition, and hopefully it'll be a very memorable year for the schools, the athletes, and the fans, and use it as a way to hopefully bring our community together, because I know there's a lot of unhappy people with the decision to consolidate the school. And I think it's the time that we really need to come together and do what's best for the kids and, the schools. You guys got anything to add on that?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I'd just like to add how well our band's done.
Yeah.
I mean, I hate to just steer off what you're doing, but 2 years ago our band, Buchanan County Band, had 13 members, and now they're up to 43 members. So
For sure.
that band is doing well, and I know Chris was at the Hurley and Twin Valley benefit game or scrimmage, and he probably heard the band over there. So
Yeah, and it was actually one of the first things, if you think about it this way, that basically consolidated in the county, was the band came together as one. So yeah, definitely glad to give them a huge shout out and everything for that. But as I mentioned earlier about the co-host and everything, Chris and Tim, I'd like to give each of them a minute to basically tell a little bit about themselves and who they are. Start, Chris.
Well, first of all, I thank you for the opportunity to be able to do this. Most people know me around here through my years of refereeing Little League and coaching middle school and JV basketball at Hurley. I started coaching Little League when I was 18. That's a long time ago. And one of the players on that team was Chad Cooper. And Chad, he now works for the Mountaineer, but this was a long time ago. And from there, I started refereeing through the years, and then I got into coaching sometime later when Mark Cooper took over the programs over there, and he needed somebody to step in with the middle school programs just getting started in basketball. And I took over the girls' middle school and then transitioned into the varsity or the junior varsity girls. And then a few years down the road, I did the same transition into the JV boys. all this in the meantime, on my spare time, I was still refereeing Little League, and helping out any way I could there. So that's sort of my background in coaching. Probably goes, back to probably I'm going to say 92, somewhere in there, 91. But I've been married for 32 years. Have 2 kids. Both of them have kids of their own, so I got 5 grandkids. I recently retired from the county. I worked there for 20 plus years, and the grandkids is what keeps me motivated in life. At some point in time, they'll be coming to the new school, and this was just an opportunity here for me to, kind of get involved with the new school coming in and stuff. Hurley sports has been a huge part of my family's life for, probably more than 20 years in some way or another. And I've gotten to know a lot of people through sports, not just in this county, but throughout a lot of districts. One of the first times that I remember meeting Tim O'Quinn was on the basketball floor. We ref together. Yeah. And it was a joy. He was the calm person on the floor most of the time. But that's just sort of me in a nutshell. Most people that does know me, it's going to be through sports, or maybe through one of the church events or something, singing, of that nature. That's my other hobby that I have on the side. But that's basically me in a nutshell. I'm not a very complicated person. Sports is something I'm very passionate about. I always have been. Particularly, the younger sports with the kids. I've always tried to give back some way or another to help, whether it be through refereeing or it be through, Little League coaching. And I commend anybody that's willing to referee Little League or coach Little League sports, because it's not for everybody, but it's a huge part of what these kids are going to be doing later on. So it's, we need to take it in consideration that when they go into Little League sports, that it's not just, for mommy, daddy. If they really want them to get better to at the next levels, and that's what they need to concentrate on. So that's sort of the way I look at that. But I've known Mike way back when you were in high school, even before then, actually. As you played under Harold Horn and Joey and those people. But it's been years in the making for this to happen, and I'm excited for the opportunity. I'm excited for the kids that we can reach and get the word out for our county kids for a change. There's a couple of podcasts that we have locally that do that, one with basketball and the other one with football. But the good thing about this is we're covering everything we could possibly cover. If it's whatever it is, if it's racquetball and we have it, we're going to cover it.
Yeah, exactly. Tim?
Tim O'Quinn. I was born and raised here in Grundy. Been here all my life. Enjoy Buchanan County. I enjoy Buchanan County sports. No matter where the school is at, Hurley, Twin Valley, Council, Grundy, it doesn't matter. I enjoy all sports because at each school there are some great athletes. So that's something I really enjoy, watching kids grow. And I'm 50 years old. Been married to the same woman for 30 years this December. We have 3 children. Out of those 3 children, my youngest is a senior at Grundy High School, so I can understand the concept of the last year of each school. With that being said, I have 4 grandsons, ages 3 to, oldest one is 3, the youngest one is 6 months old. So we're very active. My wife and I are very active with that group. Like Chris said, he and I refereed Little League sports, Little League basketball, and that was a real good joy to be on the same court as Chris. I always knew if I was with Chris, we'd had a good referee situation that night, and it usually went very well. But I really enjoy watching people grow, kids grow in this community. I like Chris said, give back. I go to church. I've been a member of Vance Church of Christ for 28 years. I'm a deacon on the board there. So that's something very valuable to me also as being a Christian. I whatever happens, if you need me to pray for you, we'll pray. So I'm very active in being a Christian and want everybody to know that as well. And I want to thank Michael. This is his dream. This is what he had planned. This is his vision. This is something he made reality today. It came to today. So he's been on a Facebook page forever. So if you don't mind, go look us up, Buchanan County Sports, on Facebook, and like the page. And on that page, you'll see our YouTube channel. Click on that and subscribe. Subscribe.
We get you. Easier said than done, that, bro.
Yeah, I get tongue-tied. And just watch what we're doing. It's not just going to be Grundy and Hurley, and we're not going to forget somebody else. And it's going to be council. We don't have a council helmet here because they don't have a football team. Don't mean they're left out. We're going to hit every kid. No. If you stand out, and the way you stand out is what you put into it. When you put into something, you get it back out of it. Just like Chris just said, give back. Always give back. You seniors, you get ready to go through your last year of school. Find a way to give back to somebody in that school that's taught you the last 4 years. Even if it's writing a note, tell them thank you for encouraging me today because I was down. Thank you for encouraging me to study. Just whatever it takes you to do that. You'll be a better person, I promise. And that's all I have. I just want to thank you, both of you guys. It's been an honor and privilege just to be able to sit here beside you guys and doing this. And there's a lot more to come to this page and this podcast than what you see today.
Appreciate it. And to touch on something he said as far as the page goes, and everything that we're wanting to do is don't think just maybe 1 week it's like an athlete, maybe, oh, he or she had a better performance. We can't be in every place at one time. We are definitely going to try to. I had both of these guys at different scrimmages this past week on the same night. We will try to get to every sport that is humanly possible. But if your kid did something exceptional last week, or your brother or your sister or your grandchild, please reach out to us. There's a little link there where you can message and it'll come directly to me. And I will definitely pass the word along to these guys as well. And help us give the kids the recognition they deserve. There's a lot of sports in the county, and it's going to be a little bit different next year as far as not as many different schools. It's like you're not going to have, 4 basketball teams or 4, golf squads or 4 volleyball teams or whatever. It's going to be a little bit easier to cover, but right now there's a lot of sports and there's 4 different schools. So any help that the community can provide us is definitely welcomed. Don't think you're, speaking out or maybe tooting your own child's horn. Toot their horn. They're your child, they're your grandchild, or whatever it is. Let us know about them. Let us know about what they've done. And I think something that we had talked about before, I wouldn't mind giving shout outs to some of the little leaguers. You got a little leaguer that's playing football for the first time and he scores his first touchdown. Let us know. We'll give them a shout out on the page. Definitely. And since these guys have done went and told a little bit about themselves, I'll go ahead and do mine, I guess. My name, of course, is Michael Dotson. I'm 45 actually in about a week. I've got 2 sons. John, who is a recent graduate of Virginia Tech back in 24. He actually hiked the Appalachian Trail and right after graduation in 24, completed all 2,200 miles of it. Extremely proud of everything that he's done. My other son, Lucas, he works with his dad in the funeral home business. He's got a 4-year-old daughter, got a newborn on the way in late November. And I've always enjoyed sports. Contrary to what Chris said there a few minutes ago, I've actually not played. I never played any sport in high school. A lot of times I think I figured that, Dad worked all the time and it was just Mom, and Mom didn't drive, so I never really asked to participate in sports. I always loved sports, and once I got in high school, I got befriended by some of the athletes on the team, and I started helping out with the basketball team, the football team, and I kept stats, filmed, just about anything you can think of. And always enjoyed the team camaraderie as far as being part of the team, even though I guess I actually wasn't. But it was really fun times. And I'm really excited about the future with the page and the podcast, especially with these guys. And I guess that's pretty much it for me. Tim, I think you had something to add before we go?
Yes.
Before we move on?
The Wave Football Regional Champions. On September the 5th, 2025, Grundy High School will honor Coach Greg Rowe and the members of the regional championship teams from 1995, 1996, and 2000. Free admission is, if you come, it'll be free admission to the game for all the team members who RSVP. So please, if you're going to go, email beth.bevins@Buchanan County Public Schools K-12.com or Allison Street at Buchanan County Public Schools K-12.com by September the 3rd, if you don't mind. Once again, it's Beth Bevins and Allison Street. If you don't RSVP, you won't get in free. So we're trying to get a number, see who all's going to be there.
All right, Chris, you got anything else to add before we move on to the players of the week?
We've also spoke about or talked about some other projects that we're working on that'll happen later on this year. I want to try to get some of the older teams from Hurley to kind of do a sit down, like a documentary kind of thing with the history of basketball and football. I've talked to some more players throughout the county, whether it be track, field, or some other, just so we can give them recognition. I've talked to Neil Razzing's daughter. I talked to Neil, and Neil said, yeah, he'd be fine with that. So that's great that she's going to try to tell her story and get that out there. So, give them recognition where it's due. We've got a lot that's going to really, if you think about it, we've got a lot of stuff that we want to try to get in this year. And it seems like a long time, but it's a short time that we're going to be able to do it. So it's going to be crucial to get volunteers. If you're out there and you want to kind of help volunteer, and whether it's taking pictures, videos, or maybe you're thinking about broadcasting or something after high school, shoot Michael a message, and he'll give you the download and kind of walk you through the steps of what he may be needing. So just kind of keep that in mind as well.
Yeah, and of course that would be wonderful as far as high school students that might be interested in helping. We are literally here right now recording with nobody behind the camera but this little button here. So having somebody back there would be wonderful, and would be a great opportunity for anybody that wanted to go into potentially digital media or sports media. Just shoot us a message and we'll get you hooked right up.
I do want to mention Derek Van Dyke. He's also going to be helping us. He's down right now sick, so he couldn't be here this week. Wish you well, bud. Hope you get to feeling better.
Yep,
Yep.
for sure. All right, guys, I guess we'll move on to the player of the week. All right, guys, we're going to introduce the players of the week for the past 2 weeks. First off, we're going to go with last week. First up will be Khloe Vance from Hurley. Get her mic up. In the green.
Just clip that on, just anywhere around your shirt, top of it there. Well, considering this is our first official show, how does it feel to be the first female to do this?
That's pretty good.
Well, it is good to have you. I appreciate you being here and your parents to bring it. Now, Tim and I have both played a little golf. I don't think Michael's ever played. Is this your first? It's your second year playing, I'm guessing.
It's my second.
Is the 52 that you shot at Willowbrook, is that your best?
That is my best score.
Best score. And how many courses have you played?
I've played 3 courses.
Willowbrook and?
Willowbrook, Gary, and when we had our regionals.
That was?
I can't remember where that was, to be exact.
Maybe in the Draper, somewhere out that way. Is that toward Bristol?
Yes.
Okay, that's probably where it was at. I've played Willowbrook a lot. I'm a scratch golfer at best, and I was looking at some of these scores that from you guys, and I thought, man, they're gonna be some good players there. And then I seen you pop up, and I mean, I'll be honest, I don't normally see girls scores that are that good, to be honest with you, normally.
Yeah.
And to get a score like that for your second year in Willowbrook, and Willowbrook is a tough course.
It is.
The most challenging part of Willowbrook, what is it for you? What's the most challenging for you?
Long distance, mostly around hole 2.
So
That would be the hardest.
your now when I would play it, the 2 holes that always gave me the biggest problems were I think it was 7 is up on the hill, and and then you get that little short one on 2. With those, just that uphill lie and try to figure out where the hole pin is, unless you just walk it and see. Most guys are too lazy to walk up there; just gonna chip and go. So, but those are really hard holes to get. Do you work on your chipping game the most, or your putting game? Because you obviously you said you struggle with the long ball. Do you work mostly on your chip and your putting when you have the extra time? Because you don't always have a place to go hit a long ball.
I work on my putting more than I do my chipping. Corey, my coach, he worked with my chipping and did a wonderful job, so I ain't worried about that anymore.
So right now, the way it sets, you all's next, I guess this week would be their next one at Willowbrook?
Yes.
Do you all play anything outside the district? Like, do you go to another course, or is it primarily just at Willowbrook?
It depends if we're invited.
Yeah.
It really does. We go to Gary sometimes.
It is truly awesome to just be able to see, all you kids getting involved. I wish they'd had something like that back when I was in school.
Yeah, I don't even think they had golf back when I was in school.
No. we were old enough that they were playing with wooden clubs back then. So, but no, it is very good to see you younger kids get out and do this, and you, whether you see it or not, you're kind of a catalyst to the next generation of golfers that's going to be at the new school. So you're setting the mark, and I hope you're not settling. That you want to improve on that score.
I'm hoping to.
Yeah.
Hopefully by the next match I will.
The things that a lot of people have passed down to me with golf is that you can't get frustrated. Is that something mentally that you deal with? Is the frustration of maybe a bad hit and you have to come back and?
Yeah, it is. You just gotta. I don't know how to explain it. You gotta if you hit something bad, you just gotta stop thinking about it. Because you think about it, you're gonna get worse and worse and worse through that hole.
Just on to the next hole.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the way you got to look at it. That's a good aspect to keep in mind. And maybe it's easier for girls because they're more calm. Most guys, a bad hit leads to another. But I'm glad you're here, like I said, and hope to see you back here before the end of the season with a better score.
Me too.
Under your belt, and maybe we can get you back in here for the district meets and stuff, and that'd be awesome.
It would be.
Right.
But yeah, we thank you for joining us today and everything, and wish you the best of luck the rest of the season. All righty. Bring Braden in next. Yeah.
Thank you.
Up next, we've got Braden Hopkins of the Hurley golf team. Welcome, Braden.
Hello.
Braden, you've grown since the last time I spoke to you.
Yes.
Pretty tall, isn't he?
He is. He's his mom and dad both. They're tall. So
Yeah.
you're a good kid. Glad to have you here.
Thank you.
Yeah, for sure.
I know his mom well. Your papa. Good
Yes.
people. Very good people.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna be honest. Knowing your papa, I thought you'd be better at riding horses. Getting on a horse kicking.
No,
me.
thank you.
Yeah. Well, that's okay too. I mean, I'm sure he's still proud of you, whether you're like horses or not. But it's good to see you here. And I looked at your score. Khloe shot a 52. If I didn't mention it, she shot a 52, and that was her best at Willowbrook. And you shot on this is a 9-hole course, and you shot a 48. And I'm gonna say the first time I shot or played, so it was 83 total,
Well,
48
no.
here. Okay.
Also at Popstein.
Oh, so you shot 83 at Pipestein.
Yes.
Oh, that's really good. I played Pipestein. Man, it's tough. But the 48, even in Willowbrook is one of these courses, the way it's laid out, all your bunkers and stuff, the way they hug, especially like on some of these downhill hits that you've got to get a good roll, especially the one next to that when you come off, I think it might be 5 when you come off, you get it's next to the clubhouse.
Yes.
The way that is, that's really tight, and you've got to almost, and when they put the pin on the low end, it's, unless you're just a pretty decent golfer, you're going to end up in the bunker. But when I saw this, I thought, man, this kid's here's from Hurley. You got 2 here, a girl and a boy from Hurley that could actually play golf, and I was really impressed. I really was. I told Michael, I said, who would have thought this? When we were in school, we wouldn't have thought this. But then I see the 48, and I was really jealous because my first time going, I was like 120 out in an 18-hole course. I mean, I was horrible. I'm not saying I'm any better now, but the 48 really impressed me. And like I asked Khloe, what do you feel like is your strongest parts of your game and your weakest that you need improvement on?
Well, I definitely get in my head a lot.
Yeah.
Yes, that's definitely my biggest weakness. But on the other hand, my putting, I'm okay with that at least. I'm okay.
So you're pretty good with your chipping. You get your chipping down pretty good. To me, that was my hardest thing was the chipping. Was that it was hard for me. It's still hard for me to judge the distance because I just want to, like, when I grab a driver, I always want to just rip it. It didn't matter to me if it went straight, right, or left. I just want to rip it just to get, because if you got a bad hit to get, the hole before, you just want to get that aggression out some way, somehow. But those holes over there that are up, like say the lie uphill, they're really tough to hit. Most time you got to lay up and then chip up from there. And you're standing on a hillside. You're like some of these courses you go to. If you hit short, you're going to be on the ground. You're going to be flat. You're not going to be chipping up. It's different because the way you have to put your feet, and corresponding with the way the hole lies and the work. So all it's a really hard course. I used to call Willowbrook the swamp because it didn't take much of a rain to make everything swampy, and it made it worse.
It floods a lot. It does.
It does. But if you can play well at Willowbrook, I think you can play well pretty much anywhere. That especially young golfer like you and Khloe. But right now, the way y'all look in the district, how do y'all sit right now in the district? Y'all played what is it, 2 or 3 matches? How many of y'all played?
As a team, we've played 2 so far.
2 so far.
Yes.
And have y'all won both of those or split?
We placed second as a team on the first round. Then of course Grundy was in Marion on the second week, and we won as a team on that one.
So how did y'all do last year? I'm sorry to say I didn't really follow it real good last year. Did y'all end up like first, second place, or how did y'all finish in the district?
I believe we placed second at district, but I know because we went to regionals.
Did you place in the regionals or anything?
No, I did not.
So did Hurley have anybody place in the regionals?
No, we did not.
Oh, I mean, it's like I say, it's awesome to see that. It's sad to see that it's last year, but it's good to see that you kids going to have the next step, have opportunities to do. And whether y'all know this or not, two of the sports that are probably the easiest to get scholarships for, probably for girls, is going to be softball, and for a guy, it's going to be either maybe tennis or golf.
Right.
So don't let it get don't get so discouraged you just want to give up on it.
Yes.
Y'all hang in there. But I appreciate you being here. And like I say, and congratulations.
Yeah.
On you and Khloe on getting this week's Player of the Weeks. But something to be proud of. First ever podcast to be on it for us, going into the new school, and I know your parents are standing over with pride, so that's something for them to look back on. So congratulations.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. We really appreciate you being here, and congratulations.
Thank you.
All righty. Up next, we've got Mason Boyd from Grundy. Welcome, Mason.
How we doing, bud?
Get him hooked up there.
Just snap it anywhere on your collar here.
Mason, it's always great to see you, and I appreciate you coming on board to our first podcast. You've made great strides in the last 2 or 3 years that you've been playing, especially the last 2 weeks. You've done a great job at being a player of the week 2 times here. So you're a 2-time player of the week. So we greatly appreciate you for that. And you just being a junior, So this is like a senior season for you at Grundy, because next year you're coming up here to Southern Gap. So you're playing hard. I know last Monday you went to Marion, and that's always a hard course.
Yeah.
And you shot a 86?
Yeah, 86.
That's pretty impressive.
It's impressive.
Thank you.
Also, you went to the Raven Rock, and Raven Rock is pretty tough. And you shot a 76 Thursday?
Yeah.
Is that what you shot?
Yeah.
So those people don't know you. What did you do all summer long? Tell everybody out here, what did you do all summer long? While everybody else was laying in the bed or laying at the beach or just being lazy. What did you do all summer long?
Oh, well, I played in the Blue Ridge tournaments.
Yep.
They have like all these, I don't know how many they have, maybe like 10. You just go to all these courses and you just get to play tournaments, which I think is really good because it's hard to play like a season. And then once you get to like a region or state or something, if you're not used to like playing tournaments, it's a lot different.
So if you had something to change in your golf game, what would it be?
Chipping.
Chipping. So I'm
Play with you,
assuming
buddy.
you're chipping a lot now, trying to practice, right?
Yeah. I need it, yeah. So
Yeah,
I
okay.
try to practice it more than.
So what's your thoughts on being, as a junior, looking forward to next year? I know you're in golf right now, but you're looking forward to next year. You're going to be a senior, and you're going to be at the new high school, and that's where everybody's going to come together. How do you think the golf team will be strength-wise when everybody comes to one? Do you think it'd be a good strength, or do you think it'll?
Yeah, I think we'll actually be pretty good because we'll have, Braden, who's playing really good right now, and then Ethan Deel, freshman, he's really young, and then me and we'll get a few kids from Twin Valley probably.
Okay,
So I think we'll be solid.
be solid.
Yeah,
So you can contend for Southwest District champion.
I hope so. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'd love to.
yeah, that's what we're wanting.
Yeah.
So Preston Hibbets is your coach.
Yeah,
He's always a joy to be around.
love it.
He's a good guy. So I'm very, very proud of what you're doing.
Thank you.
Very proud. What was your best score at Willowbrook this year,
Tournament wise?
tournament-wise?
Oh, at 36.
36. It's pretty daggone good.
Thank you.
So I am so proud of you.
Thank you.
You're representing Grundy Golf well. And even though during the summer when you was out with these 10 different other courses, you've made an impact on other people because you're Grundy Golf. And you met a lot of different people. So with that being said, that's pretty awesome.
Thank you.
That is real awesome. There are not many that does that in the summertime because it's hard. It's hard. You got to be dedicated, and you was dedicated, and you still are dedicated.
Yeah.
So with that being said, thank you for everything you've done for Grundy Golf, and we're looking forward to more and more out of you.
Hope so.
For sure. We thank you for coming today, man.
Thank
best
you,
of luck
guys.
on the rest of the season.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
All right, next up we've got Grundy's football coach, Keegan Bartley, here to discuss the upcoming season. And Tim, I'll kick it to you.
Coach Bartley has been with Grundy, head coach. How many years you been there?
This will be year number 3.
Year number 3. Kids love you. They bought into the program. You've had a lot of kids come through your head coaching that's went on and played football. Also, you've had a lot of kids come through the program and learn a lot of things about being family, because that's what you're about, family. I've been around Coach Bartley for probably the last 3 years, for sure, if not 4 years. And it's all family. We're family. Grundy High School football's family. And that's what I like about Grundy High School football. Coach Bartley was handed the head football coach from Coach Craig Plymel. And what was your thought on that when he wanted you to have the reins to be the head coach as Grundy High School?
Firstly, I was honored, right, because it's a historic program. So selfish reasons, I was very acceptive, right, of wanting to be the last head coach of Grundy football. So I appreciate the gesture. unselfishly, I knew for the kids, they had already knew me, so I thought it'd be like an easier transition for them instead of maybe somebody else, especially somebody else that may have been more qualified than I was at the time. But yeah, for him to recommend me meant the world, especially with my background that I had playing for him and all the other history that comes with Grundy football.
Well, I know he's very proud of you. I've talked to Coach Primel a couple of times about putting you in that position. He was very happy with the decision. He was very proud. So he really was. So I've got some questions. What are your overall expectations of this season?
The biggest one is just to have fun and make it a memory, right? If it's the last one, that's the biggest thing we can do is just make sure the kids remember it, and it's a more memorable time for them. So winning some ball games along the way is just another benefit of that. But that's the expectations. We're just going to have some fun.
I know every year going into season, you always set goals, and you set team goals. What are the goals have you set for your team, and or the team has set for this season?
Well, the team has took a whole new leadership role this year compared to years past. Aiden White had stepped up, so they've gave themselves some goals that I'll leave with them. If you ever speak to them, they can tell you about them. But like I said, our main goal is just to have fun and win some games. I don't really have an expected number of wins like in years past. Like the first year, with everything we had lost, I'd have been happy. If you'd have told me that we were going to finish 5-5 and make the playoffs, that was a success for me, right? Just because we had lost all those seniors from the state semis teams. Last year, the goal was just to improve on that. So, and we did with 7-5. So this year, we lost a lot again, a lot of seniors. So I'm playing a little bit smarter this year. I'm not doing a win-loss kind of goal just because we're just going to go out and have fun and win as many as we can.
What do you see your biggest challenge in your schedule? I know we've got a tough schedule.
Yeah, the biggest challenge is right off the get-go, right? First 3 weeks, week 1's Ridgeview. Grundy High School has never been able to beat Ridgeview since they consolidated. I know they've beat Hayside and Clintwood, but never beat them when they were together. So going from that to the region champions of Rye Cove, who are still probably the top 2, if not number 1 team in the region. And then Giles is week 3, and they were pretty junior and sophomore loaded last year, made a good run at it. So biggest thing with those 3 is get through there, stay healthy, compete in all 3 hopefully, and we'll take it from there.
Which games are you circling on your schedule as key matchups?
The biggest one I have circled is Richlands, only because they're on the schedule, and I know what that game means to a lot of people in the community. Goes back to 1997 that we never beat them, right? So I know we beat them in the benefit game last year, but that doesn't go on the record book. So that's the one I've got circled that I know a lot of people will want before the school closes for good.
All right, let's jump on the team preparation and development. How has the off-season training gone well? And what improvements have you seen from last year's off-season to this year's off-season?
It did go well. I mean, the biggest obstacle we're facing this year is our numbers, the kids on the team. So we've never been in a position where we've had less than 25 kids starting the season. And at the beginning of the season, it was less than 20. We were, looking at 13, 15 going in.
Wow.
So we've had a handful of kids come out, and we're up to 22. So the off season was good with what we had. Those 12 kids were showing up and putting in the work. But it's just carrying on from that. Like I mentioned, Aiden White earlier and Trey Taylor, everybody knows what he can do. So those kids have took a step forward, especially in the leadership role, and they've kind of led that off season program a little bit more.
Yeah, where do you think the team needs to grow before the season starts? I mean, what I seen this past Thursday, the team is, how can I put this respectfully? They are really bonding.
Unified's a good one.
Unified. Yeah. There was no bickering. There was no, you need to do this, you need to do that. They all took it all on the chin pretty good. Actually, we had a good 2 scrimmages
Yeah.
there. I mean, we come out of there very well, in my opinion.
I think so too.
But what do you think needs to grow before week one at Ridgeview? What do you think?
Well, we've got some guest speakers coming in, and the last one, Junior Coleman, talked about the brotherhood.
Yeah.
Right. So I think this team is a perfect representation of that. So
Yes.
they're a family, which is what I've preached since day one of taking over. So with that's part of the battle. It's just making sure that there's no selfishness, right? Like no me and let me get mine, that kind of thing. So we're already up on that aspect. So before day one, the biggest thing would just be getting in better shape because of our low numbers. A lot of two-way players this year that we haven't had to have before. So we got we'll put the best 11 on offense and the best 11 on defense, and those best 11 may be the same 9 or 10 kids. It's just depending on what we're doing. So day one, we've just got to get in a little bit better shape, make sure they're ready for a full season schedule.
Well, you answered my next question. I was going to ask you how you prepare younger players to step into the bigger roles. So you just answered it. Getting in shape and knowing your role, knowing your playbook.
That and making sure they get the repetition in practice, right? And those younger kids, they have watched. Logan Lester was an all-time great Grundy athlete, so Aiden got to watch him every day. So it kind of made that transition a little bit easier. So yeah, those younger kids, making sure that the ones above them take accountability, which they do, and then just getting the reps at practice.
Okay, let's switch to players and leadership. I know we've got 4 seniors. Is that correct?
That is correct.
4 seniors, and sometimes senior leadership helps. So who are some of the players that you want people to watch this season?
Well, mentioned Trey earlier. Trey has stepped up in that leadership role. Funny story on Trey, and I've mentioned it. I aggravate him all the time about it. From his freshman year, he showed up for media day. He was on vacation, showed up for media day, took pictures, and then went back on vacation. So from him to grow from that kid to the young man he is now, where he takes accountability over everybody and takes charge, that's a big step in the maturity level of him. So obviously watch him. Got a lot. Watch Luke Shelton. Luke Shelton has huge potential at the next level if he wanted to take it and go play ball. Braxton Helton is our heart. He's one of the other seniors. He's the heart of the team. It would not be as enjoyable if he wasn't around. So, I mean, it's kind of like a body, right? Trey's got the athleticism, Quake's got the brains, and Braxton Helton's got the smarts. And then Garen Markham is just the last senior that brings it all together. He's quiet, but he leads by example. He lets his on the field work do the talking.
Well, out of them 4 there, you mentioned they're all 4 great leaders. All 4 great leaders because they lead different values, like you said. So that's great. How many players surprised you with their progress during the off season? Coming to the weight room or doing the extra things that they should, that you don't have them doing.
Right. The number one at the top of that list would be Blake Childress. The work he's put in since last season is remarkable. Lifting 6 days a week. You can look at him and just see his progress. And it's truly transitioned. He was one of the ones on Thursday that didn't want to come off. It didn't matter offense, defense, whatever it was. He wanted to stay out there. Matt Thompson took a big step. And then to answer your question a little bit differently, it's just from the scrimmage aspect instead of the off-season aspect, was a new kid came out after second or third day of practice, Jack Campbell. And he just when he was in there and with that second group, he just had a nose for the ball. Now, there's some things we can work on with him to make him better once he finds it, but you can't coach how to find it, and he's got that. So he's
just the instinct.
Yeah, just the instinct aspect of it. He knew where to go. But like I said, we can't coach that, so now we just take him to the next level with how to finish the play.
Okay, let's switch to strategy and style. Grundy football is hard nosed. We taught them from day one. You've played for them. I played for them. Let's line up and let's run over. That's Grundy hard-nosed football.
Yep.
That's just what we do. What changes, if any, are you making to your offense, defense, any? Are there any changes you're making? Because you've got a good young man that came out and moved here from North Carolina that made your backfield a little different this year than it has been. So
RJ picked it up quick. Offensively, I think what makes a good coach on any side of the ball, whether it's head coach, offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, is you adjust to the players you have, right? You don't run the same thing. I'm not going to – if I've got a quarterback who can throw it 70 yards and make every pass look easy, maybe our style of football isn't the best. Run it down your mouth. But we adjust to what we have, and what we have is still run it down your – run it right at you and you stop it. Coach Bostic said if we can't run the toss, we might as well go home, and that's true. That's been Grundy football's bread and butter for 40 years. RJ had picked up the offense very quickly into that fullback spot. Only changes defensively this year is because of the losses from last season. Maybe it's a little bit more simpler. We got a lot of first-time players.
Yeah.
So when you got a kid as smart as Carson Deel and Brady Deel was last year, and athletes like Shaheem that were on the field last year that are not there, maybe you've got to simplify that a little bit.
Right.
That's probably the only changes. We're still going to try to find our identity just because, we only got 4 returning players from last year on the whole team as far as the starters went. So if that identity changes a little bit after the scrimmage, so be it. We'll do whatever's best we can do to try to win a game or two.
So you answered my next question already. What will your team's identity be this season? So you're already answering it. So that's good. So you're a step ahead of me.
Well, we're going to try to figure it out. The biggest thing with the identity, maybe not so much from a playing aspect, is just to remember that we were there.
Yeah.
Just remember you played Grundy football.
All right, let's go to personnel and coaching. I know this is probably going to hit you pretty hard this year, being your last year with the kids that they love you. What excites you the most about coaching this group of players?
Honestly, the biggest excitement, and this is going to sound selfish and arrogant, but just because it's the last is what excites me. I want them to take it in and remember it. Make as many possible memories as possible that they will never forget, right? And I know, like I said, that sounds selfish because I don't want it to end. I love Grundy football, but just because it is the last, let's make sure we take this ride and not take it for granted and enjoy every step.
This next question is something every coach you have on that sideline helps with, and it's how do you keep your players motivated through the ups and downs of the season?
Yes, and each kid's a little bit different. Some kids like to get somebody right in their face and to get them amped up and get that adrenaline going. Some kids like to just do it on their own. So with the coaching staff we have, we know the kids well enough that who we need to go to and speak to lift them up. Some we don't have to say anything. We just got to look at, and that just takes it to they know what to do. So yeah, the coaching staff plays a big part in that. They know the kids as well as I do. So that one's probably pretty easy.
Yeah. So what's the biggest lesson you want your team to carry with them this year? Carry on to Southern Gap.
I want them to carry on the brotherhood aspect, that family aspect.
Yes.
If you can't take that field and say, I'm going to protect my brother today, you don't need to be taking the field. So that goes for any football team, not just Grundy football, so they can take that on to Southern Gap, and that's the biggest takeaway from that.
How do you measure success beyond just wins and losses?
How much fun did they have?
There you go.
Yeah, just how much can they remember? I know Grundy's only went 0-10 one time in their history, but if you go talk to those kids, they'll tell you that was one of my favorite years ever playing, just because I remember these things we did at practice to try to win that game. Just because we came up short, it was still enjoyable. So yeah, if our record isn't what I want it to be, as long as they remember, hey, it was fun to play for Coach Bartley and the rest of the Golden Wave, that's a success.
Well, I'm very thankful to be able to be on your coaching staff, and I've been thankful ever since I've been there. And seems like us coaches are real close, just like the team players are.
We are.
And that's what I like about Grundy football. It's you're not just an individual person; you're a family, and that's the brotherhood.
Absolutely.
And but I want to greatly appreciate you coming on. Are there anything else you want to talk about?
No, I just want to thank everybody and all the kids, especially their parents. Just let me have them for a couple hours of a day, and hopefully you see growth in them, and they make you as proud as they make me.
So Grundy football will be on the road Friday.
Going to J.I. Burton Friday.
Going to J.I. Burton. And we're playing, 8 and 9?
8, 9 o'clock.
Okay.
Starting with Northwood and transitioning to Burton on the last game of the night.
So it's going to be late.
It is going to be late, and the kids. This is the way that I got them to buy into that. Is they were like, man, that's going to be late night. Good thing is we don't have to wake up Saturday, right? No, it's not a school day. Other thing is it's kind of like the main event. Like you're playing last, so you're supposed to be the star of the show.
That's
so
It allows them to see the other teams too a little bit.
They're playing the host team.
Right.
They're at the end too.
So the crowd's going to be there for Burton at that last game. So that was kind of my thing. It's like we gotta everybody's there to see us at that point.
Yes.
So
Yes. But I want to thank you for coming on our first ever Buchanan County Sports Podcast.
incredible setup, by the way.
Well,
Beautiful.
We're very blessed with the location and everything.
Yeah, we want to thank you for letting us borrow a helmet.
They all look good.
They look pretty good. They don't look good as that gold because this one's beat up and that one's beat up. You gave them a good refreshed painted one.
Yeah. I don't want to look at the year that was.
But we make sure you get that back because
Oh yeah.
that's probably going in your office at the house.
Those will be some collector's items, I imagine.
Yes.
Those three.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like we've figured out recently that some of the older ones of like Garden and Whitewood are a little bit hard to come by.
Yeah.
We've tried to see if we could find some Garden, Whitewood, or even Council, but I'd say those are long gone. And
Yeah. That's going to be a family member that doesn't even know something along those lines at this point.
Be 20 years from now, we'll see it at a yard sale somewhere.
Yeah.
Be one of those things.
Yeah.
But it's great to have you on board. Thank you so much. I cannot personally thank you enough. I think the world of you. I love you. And I like what you're doing. And I've always liked what you've done. Even when you wasn't the head coach, you still made the boys feel like they're special. But when you went in that head coach role, man, it clicked.
Thank you. I thank you for everything you've done. Nobody realizes what Tim Oakman does on a Friday night, and it is very much appreciated.
Well, we ain't worried about that. You're like me. You're there for the kids, the brotherhood.
Yeah, that's something that I always admired about you is that when you got a coach in like an area like ours, there's 3 or 4 schools, but if you got a coach that you don't ever hear anything bad about, it's always respectful things. That's to me that's success. That's when the kids get out of school 10 years from now and they still call you coach.
Yeah.
That's where you look at success as a coach, not wins and losses.
Right.
The respect, and as far as I know, I've only heard good things about you, and I've always respected you and thought the world of the way that you prepare your kids. But again, it's next year is completely different, and how everybody starts the new year next year. Is probably maybe the tale on how the kids. It's not the kids as much as the grown-ups.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
The kids
will
kinda
handle
know
it.
us.
Kids will
Yeah.
handle it.
Yeah.
They're different than we were. Back when I was in school. They carry grudges to this day. Seems like, but kids today they aren't like that. I think they're very coachable.
Yes. Got a good generation as far as that goes right now, is the coachable aspect.
Yeah. But thank you so much, Coach Bartley.
Thank
Coach,
you guys.
we really appreciate you coming on, and want to wish you the best of luck this upcoming season, and hope to see many wins in this final year.
That'd be nice. It'd be nice. But I appreciate y'all for having me. It was an honor.
No problem. Appreciate
Good
you,
luck,
man.
bud.
Good
Thank
luck.
y'all.
Thanks, Coach Bartley. Let me have that mic off of you.
Well, guys, we're here with Hurley coach Zack Deel. Zack, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
All righty, Chris.
Zack, it's good to have you here. I spoke with you a few days ago, sort of touched base with you on a few things, but just give some people out there that may not know your background on where you came from and how you ended up in Hurley. I remember you coming to Hurley, and people, anytime you get a new player, it's always everybody's whispering, "Hey, you got a new kid, blah blah blah. He's a big old guy,
Yeah.
And then, you see you when you first see you come in Hurley, and you're this big kid, you think, well, he's gonna have an attitude. Then when you meet, you're like, no, he's a really genuine, nice person. Great kid, hard work ethic. But when you came from North Carolina
Right.
to Hurley.
Yeah.
Just give us kind of an insight. What from the time you were in North Carolina, where that was at, and then how you ended up in Hurley.
I lived in Lexington, North Carolina. I was there for 16, 15 years. Moved up here at the start of my sophomore year. I played at Central Davidson High School in Lexington. Then I moved up to Hurley at the start of the 2012 year. Then I played my sophomore, junior, and senior year there. So then I graduated from Hurley in 2015. Left Hurley, went to Bluefield. Was at Bluefield College for 2 years. Then I left Bluefield. Finished up my degree and stuff at Wise. Then I've been coaching at Hurley since 2019, Austin Cooper's first year. So I've been there since then.
You took over for John Paul Justice, correct?
Yep. Yeah, I took over halfway through the year. Not last year, the year before. So I'm going on my, I guess you can say, third season as head coach. But I was an assistant from 19 until then I took it over.
I can remember you playing. I was on the sideline back then. I kept stats and stuff like that for Greg, and I can still remember, Brandon, how thorough he was about his defense, and how meticulous he would go into these games, and it seems like that. I watched y'all scrimmage against Twin Valley, and I can see some of that transition. And like I say, I didn't get to watch a whole lot of y'all. I watched it online last year, but I didn't get to watch it much in person. But you see a little bit better detail in person. And I've seen some detail there that I can see that Brandon seemed to pass on to you.
Yeah, which Nick Gibson's calling the defense this year. He called it last year. Me and him both played under Coach Davis. We played together, in 2012 and 2013. And we run, same stuff we ran in high school, with our tweaks on it. But yeah, Coach Davis was he was very particular about his defense. The way you're supposed to line up, just every little thing, the gaps and defense. If one person's out of a gap, then your whole defense is messed up. So he was really particular about everyone playing their assignment, and that's the way me and Nick has been trying to do with our defense this year.
As far as your roster goes, I think you said you had like 22 kids out.
Yeah, we got 22 out. We picked up one extra, so we're sitting at 23. But we got one that's hurt. He'll be out. He got hurt at the scrimmage the other night. He'll be out a week or two, but he'll be fine. So we're playing with 20, 22, 23 kids, somewhere there.
How many of those players though actually had or have had experience, either maybe as a starter or as being a crucial role player, being able to step in? We talked about, and you've got some seniors and juniors, but still, you can take a junior and he'd still be so inexperienced that it still feels like a young team.
Oh yeah, we got seniors that are starting that are inexperienced. We got 4 seniors on the team this year. We have Jeremiah Blankenship, Colin Compton, Dylan Lester, and Leroy Atkins, and the only one out of those 4 that's probably played all 4 years is Dylan Lester. Mm-hmm. Jeremiah Blankenship has a little bit, but last year as a junior was just his first year starting, and he didn't see a lot of playing time his freshman and sophomore year. He did in a backup reserve role. Leroy Atkins, he got to play his freshman year, but then he was hurt his sophomore year, I think, with an ACL, and then his junior year last year, he got to play the first 2 scrimmages in the first game of the season, but then he got hurt. So we got seniors there still inexperienced, and that's like you can see the inexperience Thursday. On our offensive line, we got one kid, Chase Baker, who's a junior that's played a lot since his freshman year. We got a freshman starting at center, so that was his first, varsity action.
Good job.
Jeremiah Blankenship, he's a senior, but, last year was his real first action of, in-game experience. Then you got Jake Cantrell at tackle, which is a junior. He started, I think, 2 games last year. And then you got Colin Wolfram, who's a sophomore, and I think he started 1 game last year. So, we're young everywhere. It's not just one position. We're young everywhere. And it's like I told you the other day, my first year there, we graduated 16 kids. And then we had 5 seniors last year. So, there for a span of time at Hurley, that was your core kids. And you had a lot of kids that are playing now that didn't play for a year or 2 because they knew they had all those kids in front of them, and they didn't play, or they've not played since 6th grade or something like that. So getting them caught up to speed has been a struggle last year. They got some playing time, but it's still a struggle this year.
I watched the game the other day, and I took a few things from that. One, it was a controlled scrimmage, which it's you don't have the kickoffs. And for those who don't know it, they don't have the kickoffs or punt returns or anything like that.
Right.
But just the speed, Lee Ray, I thought played really good. And I hadn't really seen him play in person, and he's an athlete.
He is. Him and Dylan Lester and Dylan Stacy are probably our 3 fastest kids on the team. And Leroy caught that touchdown from Canaan. Then Leroy's seen action at corner too for us. But his speed is going to have to be something that's going to have to help us this year.
Your schedule, I was looking through your schedule, and I wouldn't say for your numbers, it's a tough schedule.
Yeah.
But a lot of the teams that you'll be facing is sort of like you. They're facing the same numbers, the kind of the low number kind of deal with Bland and some of those teams.
Yeah.
But when you look at your schedule and you see, of course, you're going to, let's just be honest, you're going to circle Grundy, you're going to circle Twin Valley. Those are games you want your kids to really get up for. But are there any other games on that schedule you look at and go, we can really get some wins here leading up to those games if we stay healthy? And that's a key for every one of these teams in the district is stay healthy, not get anybody hurt. So in these scrimmages, you do got to use some judgment there and wise calls. But when you look at your schedule, do you go down there and go, yeah, we can compete here, or is it just one of those things that you just take every single game preparation the same and say, this is what we are, and never how it ends up, it ends up?
No, we, every game, I think we prepare the same. You got your rivals, Twin Valley, Grundy, they're your district rivals. Then our next biggest rival is probably Riverview, West Virginia. So, anytime you play a rival, you try to get, high intensity practices, make short corrections, everything. But, as far as like any preparation that we would do any differently on a different week, there is none. We do our film and everything, our offense, defense practices. We clean anything up that we've seen. Thursday we rotated everyone in, like you said, it was a controlled scrimmage. We made sure that everyone got some playing time somewhere. Right. On Fridays it's hard to it's hard at times to get everyone in. So with these scrimmages, we're going to make sure that we try to get everyone in and get some playing time. And there may be some kids that surprise you, and there was Thursday. There were some kids that surprised us that we didn't know, could do what they showed Thursday. So they'll get some more playing time for us. And as far as our schedule goes, last year we went 2-8, but we played 7 teams last year that made the playoffs. And the start of 2 days last year we had 13 kids, and then
it's tough.
Yeah, and then the first regular season game, I think we got up to 25 kids. I think is where we was at the first game of the season. So half of our team didn't come out until past 2 days. So they lost all those winter months of lifting, all the 2-day practices, all the reps, and it showed. We played Eastside last year. It was probably the best team that we played. They played in the region championship game against Rock Cove. In the third quarter last year, it was 14-6 ball game. Then they broke away from us at the end of it, but every game last year at some point I think we was in it. We played Grundy tough last year. We played Walker. We lost to Walker. We played them tough, and all them teams made the playoffs. So our schedule is there is about we're looking at it and we're realistically like there's a couple wins that we can get on here, and then there's a couple teams that we think we have chances to sneak up on this year.
I agree. I was looking at your schedule. I would say the same thing. And like I say, it all depends on health-wise, on keeping everybody, injuries and stuff like that. And it's kind of funny that you just mentioned the Riverview team, because I happened to see their coaches in the stands, and as they left, I knew a couple of them, so I just kind of waved at them. But even early on in the season, they're trying to get the upper hand, maybe get a little inside of what both, I think Twin Valley as well. So
yeah,
that was just kind of funny from my standpoint looking at it. But the players that you have now, I mean, have you shuffled any around, or is it primarily still basically the same players in the same positions, or have you had anybody sort of step into that role that they're not used to playing?
Yeah, I mean, we've had a couple of kids that we've had to shuffle around that's in different spots. We got a transfer in from Grundy, Aiden Baker.
Mm-hmm.
He stepped in at linebacker for us, and he shined for us Thursday, and at running back too. And Dylan Lester, we only gave him 4 or 5 attempts on Thursday, but he's going to be our workhorse. Him and Keegan are going to take us as far as we go. But yeah, there's Gavin Stiltner was a kid Thursday I thought played decent for us. That came up, and then Gage Justice was another kid who's a sophomore this year. It's Keegan's brother that stepped up for us, and we didn't. He didn't see a lot of action last year, but then he played pretty good for us Thursday.
A lot of people may not know Aiden Baker. I know his mom and dad real well, but Tony was a good athlete, his dad. But his uncle was Theo Justice, who played at Grundy, was, in his mind, all state.
Right.
But no, for real, Theo was a really good athlete. He could play multiple sports and been good at it. He was just one of those kids that was very athletic. And I think both his nephews seem to be that kind of athletic kids. They could probably pick up some stuff there and just go with it. You have plenty of speed, from the standpoint from what I looked at. Like I said, there is going to be some challenges there on through the season to keep people healthy. Going forward, when you talked about how, to me, this was like the senior year for every one of these kids, because it's the last day, it's the last homecoming, it's it's all those things that they won't get back at Hurley. And I was looking at that, and I kind of pondered on that. And I remember back when I was in school, and they were first opened up the middle school at Hurley, and nobody wanted to go to it. They all want to stay at the elementary because it's just everybody would get nervous, whatever. But thankfully I missed that window and didn't have to fool with it. I went on to the high school. But for these kids that are transitioning to the new school, all of these, and we talked about it with the other coaches, is that you're taking a tradition. This area is rich with football. I mean, we've had some success in basketball and some baseball and stuff, but it's been rich with football for as long as I can remember. And that's what has been really the driving force in sports around here for decades, basically. And you've been part of that. Greg Tester mindset. Is that you live it, you breathe it, you eat it, and then you repeat it.
Well, that's true.
And that being said, how do you, the way these kids' minds are right now with thinking, okay, for the juniors and the underclassmen, their mindset of thinking, well, next year, how do you keep them on this year?
We've reminded them since day one that there is no more Hurley football next year. They're never going to play our crosstown rival again, with Hurley or with Grundy or Twin Valley. You're never going to see that again. So we've reminded them even back from lifting weights in February that there is no more. But as far as taking any extra steps or anything because it's not the last year, you still have to prepare everything like it's normal. We have reminded them, that's like Thursday after the game. we only have 5 home games, at Hurley left. So, that's why I remind them, I say, guys, you only got 5 more games left. You have to make every moment count, because once it's gone, there ain't no next year. There ain't no more, same traditions that they'll have at Hurley. The Gap will have their own stuff, and, they'll never wear, the blue and red again. So, it's something that I think about a lot, and I always remind the kids about it, because it is something I'm passionate about.
Are you all planning any? I know Tommy, I seen him post something on Facebook. He's planning on a few things, for the Twin Valley, for the past players, or I think he was mentioned maybe a homecoming queen kind of thing or whatever. But have y'all got any plans to kind of honor the past players and maybe cheerleaders or anything like that?
Yeah, we're going to. We've got it set. I think the first home game we're going to do the first district team that Hurley had, which I think was 82. Then the second home game with Riverview, I think we're going to ask the 92 district team back. And then we actually play Tri-Cities on a Tuesday night. With their schedule and stuff, some teams folded at the beginning of the summer. So we picked Tri-Cities up for a Tuesday. I think they're going to do something like, all students are free admission to the game, just to try to get the students there, because it is an odd night where we're playing on.
Right, yeah.
Then on homecoming, I think they're going to honor all past, like homecoming queens and different things. And then the last game with Twin Valley, they're going to honor the 16 district team.
See, I like the idea of honoring the homecoming queens for this standpoint. By this time, if you were talking about some of these women that probably have kids of their own, you're all going to be banking there. They're going to be bringing their families. It's kind of a double-edged sword. You're going to be making. Tommy's probably come up with this idea for everybody, because he knows it's going to make him some money. But
Tommy's all about that money.
Yeah. But it's been a pleasure talking to you, and glad you came out and kind of give us a download of your system and how your season's going to go and the players. And I wish you luck for the rest of the season, and we'll continue following all you your players and your coaches and stuff. And if there's something that we can help you get out, like if you're going to plan anything, just holler at us. We'll try to get it on. Michael put it on his page, and we'll try to get it on the podcast for you.
Yeah, I think the school has it. They'll advertise. I think the 80 teams and the 90 teams, all the district teams. They're going to try to honor all of them and bring all of them back. So we'll have all that on there.
You go very far back to the 80s now. You may have to have some people helping them out there. Mark Cooper was on that team, and I always poke fun at, me and him go back and forth a lot. But I see a lot of those guys from way back then now, and these younger kids, you say, hey, this guy right here, in 80 or 81, whatever you want to tell me, he was a heck of an athlete. They'll laugh at you, but now you look to get everybody out there and then see what they accomplished. During that time, even Garden, Garden was a powerhouse back then too. But it'd be great for me being just loving the history of sports in this county. To be able to go to Twin Valley and see maybe they bring out some of the Garden players, and their district champion. You can come to Hurley and see that, and go to Grundy and see that. That's really, it's going to be once in a lifetime. This is it. This is probably the last time you'll see these players together.
It's going to be a very memorable year from that aspect, but also a very sad one at the same time.
Yeah, it is. It's going to be a memorable year. Because no matter win or lose, everyone's going to remember that last year.
Yeah.
And that's what I've told the kids. Last year was a disappointing year as far as win and losses goes. But it was a good year. It was disappointing, only have 2 wins, and we're trying to get over that hump and win as many as we can this year. And that's why I've told them. I said, you got prepared, because you're going to remember this year, no matter if you're a senior or if you're a freshman. You'll remember that last year at Hurley, and all the kids will at Grundy and Twin Valley. I'm sure they've got the same mindset.
Oh yeah, they about have to have. I don't know how you couldn't have. But
I heard Chris say the other day when he interviewed you, it's literally like the whole team is actually seniors this year, because it's their final year.
Yeah, it is, and not all the kids are going to go to the Gap and play. So, there may be some kids that, this is their senior year, even though they are just sophomore or junior. They might go to a different school, or they might go to Southern Gap, and then they decide, not to play at Southern Gap.
Yeah.
So, they do have to prepare, and, from a coaching standpoint too, you don't know, as far as staff goes or, anything like that. And it's like me, it's a weird position to be in, but it's a good position to be in too at the same time. Because I may never be a head coach again. So, I'm going to take, every second in I can, and that's why I remind the kids to do too.
Well, I mean, hold on to that thought, because Little League's always needing some good coaches, for real.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been through the Little League system, refereeing and coaching and stuff with basketball and stuff, and you need you guys that maybe can't or don't have an opportunity at the varsity level to step down and kind of, because you've got kids of your own who are going to be in that eventually, into that program, and it's really good to see that they're going to have quality people that can kind of show them the ropes, So hold on to that thought. Don't give up.
That's going to be one of the biggest parts of the whole thing being successful.
Yes,
in my
it is.
mind is, the middle school and little league levels being, taught the right way and coached up the correct way.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest things I think is, with Coach Tester, he's got his system in, and his system is. I've been in his system now since I moved here in 2011. But for some of these kids that's gonna maybe have never been in the Wing T system or his type of system, it's gonna be different, and it would benefit everybody, all the kids and Southern Gap and everything if everyone ran that system all the way down from the little ones to the big ones.
Yeah.
If that's gonna be their system when they get there in high school, then that needs to be their system that they learn in 4th and 5th grade. That way you're not having to go back and teach, system and fundamentals and everything like that once they get to that, JV, varsity level or something like that. So I think it will benefit the kids if that is the way that they go.
Well, y'all got anything else?
Got anything, Tim?
In your opinion, who are the ones to watch this year? I know you've got a big quarterback, Kanan.
Yeah,
Kanan's always been a good athlete.
yeah,
He reminds me of Tommy Crigger back in the day. He ain't the fastest thing in the world, but he can throw the ball.
right. Yeah.
So other than him, you mentioned Aiden Baker.
Yeah,
And-
you got Kanan. Kanan's my mind. He's an underrated quarterback because where he's at. We're not a pass heavy team. Everyone knows that. But Kanan does give you that ability to.
He's very
pass the ball.
capable.
Yeah. He threw for a little over 800 yards last year. So he does have a big arm. He can make a lot of good throws. So that does give you that aspect. You got Aiden Baker who will help us on both sides. Dylan last year, he rushed for a little over 800 yards last year. He'll be a senior this year. He stood out Thursday at running back and at linebacker. Chase Baker will be a leader for us up front on both sides of the ball, offensive and defensive line. Also, Jeremiah Blankenship will be. We got several kids that can, step up for us. And, we've, last year we didn't have, you're losing two big seniors with Josh Doody and Landon Atkins from last year that, they played all 4 years. They had a lot of reps. Landon Atkins was an all-state lineman. Josh Doody, he ran for over 1,000 yards and, was played safety and everything's for us. So that's a lot of production that we lost that we've got to replace. But, as far as, speed and stuff goes this year, we're a faster team than what we were last year. Our line's a little bit more inexperienced because, losing a player like Landon that's hard, that started all 4 years and has played tackle, guard, center for you at some point in those 4 years.
Well, not just from a standpoint of athletic ability. Those two they're great kids, and you're not going to hear, they're not jerks to where that some kids that have athletic ability that stand out, or they become jerks because they think, hey, I'm the center, I'm the star. But I never heard that about those kids. They just played hard, they done what you told them to do, and it made their locker room better. And then you lose that kind of, not just athleticism, but that kind of leadership. It's sometimes I don't know that you can make up for it. Not in a quick time anyway.
Yeah, no, Landon and losing Landon and Josh are, you know, we'll have to, you know, replace that production, but you can't replace two players, you know, like Landon and Josh. Both of them were 4-year starter for us. They were all district. But then, you know, any time that, you know, something went wrong or something didn't go our way, or, you know, bad practices or whatever, you know, they always made sure the team stayed on task, you know, got back together. And, you know, that's one thing we got to see this year is who's gonna step up in that role of as a leader. You know, we got several kids that I think are capable of doing it, but we just got to see who's gonna be one to step up and take the reins and who's gonna lead the team. You know, you got coaches, you know, who will lead, but you know, if you don't have that on the field leader, then it's hard.
It's very hard. Yes.
I got one more question, if you don't mind. Beyond winning and losing, how do you measure a successful year? This will be the last year of Hurley football. How do you measure that?
You know, last year was, you know, we didn't have success as far as, you know, wins and losses goes, but I think we grew as, you know, as a team. Individuals got better, and you know, as far as this year goes, you know, wins and losses is, you know, everyone wants to win at the end of the day. You know, everyone wants to win district, and you know, all that stuff. But you know, as long as we're doing our job as, you know, coaches and helping these kids, you know, grow into, you know, young men, because most of them are getting ready to go into, you know, workforce and stuff in a couple of years. So you know, they've got to, you know, understand, you know, once you get knocked down, sometimes you gotta, either you're gonna take it or you're gonna get back up swinging. So you know, that was the motto last year. We got knocked down a lot last year. You know, only won 2 games, but this year, you know, we've got to come back with a vengeance and, you know, make the best of it and do what we can do. And as long as you're playing to your best of your ability and doing the best you can, then that's all you can ask for at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
Well, I know you're a big asset to Hurley football. You're a huge asset for the kids. They highly respect you. And I want to personally thank you for taking time out just to coach, because you're a good asset to them.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. There's a lot that goes into it. But, you know, it's not a position that, you know, a couple of years ago that I would have saw myself in. You know, I sort of just got thrown into it. You know, I'm trying to make the best of it and trying to make it one where, you know, the kids can remember, and, you know, Coach Davis and Coach Tester and, you know, Coach Quinley, different ones that, you know, helped me when I was there at Hurley, or even coaches, you know, in North Carolina that I still remember and still talk to. You know, you don't know what a kid's going through. You know, they could be having a bad practice or whatever, but, you know, it could be a home issue or something like that. But, you know, I've always been a player's coach because, you know, Coach Davis and Coach Tester was. You know, I just want my players to know if there's anything that's going on, that my door is
It's definitely
always
been
open.
something you've had to deal with over the last few years with all the different things that's happened in the community for Hurley.
Oh yeah, you know, we've gone through floods and fires, and you know, deaths, and, you know, former players and everything. You know, and it's been a struggle. It seems like it's one thing after another. You know,
Yeah.
hopefully this year we can get through it without, you know, any floods or, you know, fires or snowstorms or something happening.
Yeah.
So hopefully we can get through it to the end of November or something before any floods or something comes our way.
For sure. Well, guys, you got anything else to add?
That's all I have. Thanks,
All
Zach.
righty. Well, Zach, we
I
really
appreciate
appreciate you coming
Appreciate it.
coming in today.
Good luck, buddy.
All right, guys, we're here with Coach Tommy Crigger of Twin Valley. Coach Crigger, I appreciate you joining us today.
My pleasure.
All righty. Well, you got
Got a couple questions for you. Well, I
You're
got
gonna
more
let
than a
Tim
couple.
lead off.
That's right. What are your goals for the team this season, both on and off the field?
Goals every year at Twin Valley is to finish the season, take it one game at a time. Everybody's fighting the numbers battle, but we fight it every year. And our goal is the same thing: get through scrimmages and practices healthy, and then start our games. And, you know, last year we got through and did pretty well. We were kind of young last year. We got about 8 seniors or 8 starters back. We only got 4 seniors, I think. But our goal is one game at a time, a schedule. We schedule teams that's in the same boat as we are, low numbers. School don't have 180 in it. I mean, we've got a couple teams we play that has over 200 or 300 students, but other than that,
It's 19 so far, ain't it? As far as turnout,
yes,
19.
yeah, we've been having it practice between 18 to 20. We have, I think, 21 on our roster, but every day at practice we've had 18 to 20, which is a plus for us that we haven't had in a long time. But our goal is to finish the season. Hopefully we can get a couple wins. We just want to compete, and hopefully people don't leave at halftime is our goal.
Make sure they get there and buy hot dogs.
That's right.
What are some of the players that we need to watch for this season? I know you got some studs, and
Well, we got a few good football players that played last year that's playing their second year, like Braden White. This is his third year. We're expecting big things out of him, like always. I mean, he's the quarterback, so you go as far as you. I mean, you got to hand the ball off, you got to throw it, and if you can do that well, you can be in a ball game. And then we got running backs. We have Ian Maines, Ethan Smith, Josh Keller. They're all back from last year, so that's a plus. They know the offense. They run hard. They run well the other day. Receiver, we have a Blake Cooper. He's back from last year. But we have a freshman, Harvey. He's number 81. We're expecting some stuff out of him this year. He's had a really good couple weeks of practice and a real good scrimmage. And he played some linebacker for us and played real well. Offensive line, we returned 3 offensive linemen. We're filling in a couple spots there with people that did play on Titus and Lord, drew a blank.
I didn't think that was possible.
Well, Mason Johnson is a lineman. We have a few in there that we rotate in and out. Colton Stiltner is a tackle. He's a 3-year starter, and I think he'll help us. And then we have Brandon Mullins. He's one who caught the touchdown there against Hurley in the scrimmage there when we went live. Trying to get a first down to extend the play, and he turned it into a 50-yard touchdown run. Was very impressive. That was a highlight for us that we didn't expect, so that was a plus. But other than that, we got some people there. But again, we're all 8 that played last year played both sides of the ball. Mm-hmm. I mean, they're going to play everywhere. I mean, when you only got 18 to 20 some, you're going to play special teams and everything. But watching those kids, and if you could come out and watch, you can see Luke Stiltner. He's a 2-year starter. This is his second year. Played really well at defensive end for us. He's improved a lot. So we're just excited to get it going, just like everybody else is.
Okay. Who are the leaders in the locker room, and how do they set the tone for the whole football team?
Well, the leaders, man, I couldn't tell you who puts their foot down in there. I give them, we stay in the office and they take care. We only go out when the shenanigans start, and, we haven't had to go in there yet and work. But I'm sure that the veterans like Braden, Colton, Brandon, people that's been around, I'm sure they keeping it straight in there because, like I said, this is a close-knit group, and actually they come to practice, and in the past couple of years we haven't had that. We've had 10 show up, 9 show up, but this year everybody's been there, and that's a plus for us.
Well, I know you've had a lot of ups and downs throughout the years that you've coached at Twin Valley. So with that being said, how do you carry the team through the ups and downs? How do you prepare them?
this is my 26th year doing all this, coaching baseball, football, and everything. You just got to go in it. My first couple years when I was at Magna Vista coaching, man, I was all gung-ho. I mean, you would yell and you'd scream and this and that. And then, you know, at the end of the day, these kids, I mean, who knows what to go home to?
Yeah.
So we kind of I just kind of changed the way that I did things by just letting it go. Once football was over, we left. If they wanted to talk about them fishing or whatever, what they did, that's what I do. We're on the field, we take care of business. We go for about an hour and 45 minutes, 2 hours, and then we go home. And if they have anything to say, but we prepare different for different people. Because you don't, like being a school teacher, you know, at lunch you go around and talk to them. You know, some of those kids, that's the only meal they're going to get. When they go home, it might be a bag of chips. It might be, I mean, that's the only hot meal they get, all right? All right, one kid might go home and their mom's got cancer.
Right.
Or they had a sibling pass away. We don't know that.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it hard. And that's why I don't dwell on, oh, man, make that play. Just tell them, all right, we'll get it next time. Don't worry about it. You don't know what they're dealing with.
A lot of them's got a lot tougher things.
That's right. There's a
than
lot
what's
tougher
going
thing
on
in
the
this.
football
And, you
field.
know, I love football. It's been a part of my life forever. But, you know, at the end of the day, some of these kids in our county struggle.
Yep.
So they're playing sports to get away.
That's true.
So we don't dwell on anything. I mean, like I said, we get on them, we make them run, but at the end of the day, we're there for them anything.
Yeah.
That's great.
And that's what I like about close knit.
That's right,
You
yeah.
stay close knit with them, and you're just not a coach, you're a mentor.
That's right. I mean, people don't realize, I mean, we get bashed, we get, oh, why'd they do this, why'd they run that? Man, listen, it is what it is, and if you never played,
That's right.
I mean, it is what
Kinda
it is.
goes along-
All of y'all played, y'all know. I mean, it's tough.
Kind of goes along with some of the things Keegan was saying at Grundy, that, you know, it's a family base, you know, and a lot of memories that they'll share, you know, years from now with their kids and stuff.
That's right.
As far as being a tight-knit group.
Well, I said the other day when y'all were over there scrimmaging, and you know, I hadn't seen Matt in a long time. We were talking and stuff, and I told him, you know, one of the things I always admired about you was how you were laid back. And, you know, I'm not saying that you don't get after your kids and don't expect them, you know, to play at their best, but it's just like you explained, that you took it like a grain of salt.
That's
you
right.
You knew the players, you knew what you had, the over expectations. You just don't do it.
No, I don't.
And
I
that's
don't
something
put it
that you-
on them. I don't.
Yeah.
That's why we just take it one game at a time. Like I said, I quit doing that probably 10, 15 years ago. My old lady, my first
Easy
5 or
now.
6 years, yeah, that's true.
to get you with.
That's right. But my wife, I mean, I'd go home, be mad, take it out, and, you know, she put a stop to it early. She said, this ain't how it's going to be. She said, you know, it's a game. I said, I know. And, you know, it is. You get upset, but you can't take it home. You can't take it. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, you can get fired up, then at the same time, you just have to keep everything in perspective.
Well, you said you had 4 seniors. And,
Maybe 5. Listen, I have no idea.
Well, maybe 5. So
Let's say 5, I think.
all right, 5 seniors, and I know you've coached all 5 of them their whole career,
Yeah,
high school career.
yeah.
So this being the last year for Twin Valley High School football team, what excites you the most about this group of players that you can, after the school year's over and they go on college or they do workforce, what excites you about them, what they do on their
I'm
career?
excited with this group because, like we talked about, they come to practice. They do the little stuff that we needed to be doing all along, and they're a big part of that. They're a big part of leading our team, being this is it for them. And you know, it's it for everybody. But what people don't realize, and this is the way I'm approaching this year, we can't forget about our seniors.
That's right.
Everybody's saying, oh, the school's gone, Grundy's gone, Hurley's gone, Twin Valley's gone. Let's do this, let's do that. Guys, we've got seniors that this is their senior year.
Yeah.
Let's not overshadow these seniors. Let's give them what they want. These kids are going to have Southern Gap. They're going to have their senior year. They're going to be up there. They're going to, and I understand we're going to bring some players back. We're going to do some stuff like that, but we can't overshadow the seniors at Grundy, the seniors at Hurley, and the seniors at Twin Valley because, you know, COVID took away a lot from seniors back in the day, and 2 of them was my nieces. They can't get that back, and we can't overshadow these seniors, like I said, in all the schools, because this is it for them for good. They're not going to have Southern Gap. All they're going to have, the last graduating class at Twin Valley and at Hurley and at Grundy.
Yep.
So I'm trying to be more senior oriented and then school shutting down oriented, but we are meeting somewhere there and having all the coaches that coached at Twin Valley, having all the players there at the last game for our senior night. And the reason I'm doing that is when we invite all the players and coaches, administrators, everybody on that last game that want to be there, we're going to line up on the side, and our 5 seniors are going to walk, and they're going to see the pass and everything walking through there, but we're not going to leave those out. That's going to be a big moment for those seniors because that's going to be the last senior class to walk across that field and go. So that's the way we're approaching it and the way we're trying to get to the end.
That's a great way to do it. I mean, I think you're the only coach that's been here with us that said it that way. I mean, Grundy has 4 seniors, and I think Zack said it earlier had 4 or 5 seniors too. So it's their last year.
That's it.
So
That's
I
right.
totally agree with that. One more question I have for you, then I'll let these other guys ask you. Which games on your schedule that you're circled as key matchups? I know you've got probably 3 or 4, maybe.
Well, we got Bland circled twice. We got, our first 3 circled, Castlewood, Montcalm, and Bland.
Okay.
We got to get on those. That's right off the bat. I mean, we have to, the first one is Castlewood, and we have to be ready to play. And, you know, we had a great benefit game with them last year.
Right.
I think score ended up being 14-12. And, you know, we got people back. They graduated some people, so you never know. We just have to execute. And those first 3 games are double circles for us.
Good.
Because that's going to be how, you know how it goes, them first 3 games, how the season goes. Yeah.
Set your tone. I know you got a good coaching staff, and I want to appreciate everybody at Twin Valley to help you because they're a great coaching staff.
They are.
So I'm grateful for that. You had a good coaching staff because without a good coaching staff, you're nobody.
That's fact. I mean, I'd say I got the best. I love them to death. I mean, Coach Stiltner, Marcus Stiltner, and Coach Wright, they've been with me, and Coach Baldwin's been with me
from the get-go
since 2008.
Yep.
From the beginning.
From the beginning. So, I mean, it's been a long time, but it does help. I mean, football knowledge, when you're surrounded by football people, it makes it easy.
It's a big key.
Yes.
Well, that's all I have. We'll see for these other guys. I'll
Chris,
take
you
it
got
easy
anything
on you.
Yeah, a lot of people, I mean, they know Tommy Crigger, but they may not know, they might know the myth as far as what they hear about you. But I remember you back in high school, you know, playing quarterback, and I remember, because I'm older than you, I remember you guys coming to the Y and playing pickup ball, you know, and I didn't, to be honest, when you see this guy coming in, you go, hey, he's not an athlete. Then you realize, he can shoot, he can dribble, he can actually run. You know, more than your mouth. More than your mouth, you can run. But, you know,
What are you buttering him up for?
some people may not know, you know, exactly where you were at from high school and to how you got to Twin Valley. You know, you mentioned at the Vista, you know.
Oh, Magna Vista.
Yeah, Magna
Yeah,
Vista. You mentioned that earlier, but, you know, some people may not, okay, he mentioned that. Where's that at? You know, how did he get there? You know, now he is at Twin Valley the last year of its program.
Yeah. Well, like you said, I mean, and to do on that, man, these kids don't realize about the YMCA back in the day.
They don't.
It was better than playing for the Southwest District. I mean, we played Steve Farmer, Chris, Donnie Baldwin. I mean, it was the best time ever in my life. I mean,
Earl
from ninth
Stiltner,
grade
there's a bunch of
to,
them.
I mean, we played Thursday and Saturday or
Well,
Saturday
sometimes
morning.
4 times
Yeah.
a week. It just depends, you know.
But that was good times. But I left when I went to Emory, and I played 4 years of baseball and football there. And once I left Emory, I got a job at Drew Mason Middle School in Henry County. It's around Martinsville, and I got there and met the football coach and started coaching at Magna Vista. I was coaching my first year. I coached the 8th grade team, and then the next year I coached the JV team, and then the next I helped Joe on varsity. Real good coach. That's where I learned the wing tee. A little bit different than Greg learned it, but it is what it is. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
So you just call it different. But I was there for probably 6 years. And then we moved, I got married, me and my wife moved back to Abingdon, and I went to work at Virginia High, where I helped coach football there and helped Coach Daniels in baseball. And then after that, I moved over to Patrick Henry, where I helped Tim Johnson, rest his soul. He passed away, very good coach, learned under him. But all that said and done, the Walmart was going to be built at Grundy way before it was built. So a job came open at Twin Valley, and I called, and and next thing you know, in 2008, I went in February, and the Walmart wasn't built. So my wife still had to drive to Bluefield to work in Marion, but it finally was built, and it all worked out, and then I've been here ever since.
That's a long. I mean, it doesn't seem that long, but that's a long trip.
And it was fun times
to
too. It was fun. Magna Vista was fun times learning. I mean, nobody knew me up there. I mean, everything was on my own. I got to meet good friends, good people, and still talk to them today. Coach Beckelheimer, I always talk to him every couple of weeks, and he passed away. I mean, older you get, more people you lose, and just makes it tough. But I mean, we're here, and Cody and I are happy to be here. I mean, we're all in on the schools. We help any way we can. So that's from 2000 to 2008. That was the journey.
Yeah, you guys help a lot of kids in Twin Valley throughout the years.
As a coach myself, I've coached for years as well, but I always look at a form of respect from you former players. Is I said this earlier, is that you meet a kid that you coached 10 years ago and they still call you coach.
Oh yeah.
That form of respect. Then you've got those kids that you may not remember a name or that played for you, and that will still call. And that's the kind of thing you don't realize maybe what you've done with that kid in their life and how you've molded them until years
That's
later.
right.
As you said, you don't know what they're going through.
And you do forget names and stuff, but once they tell you who they are, you got their nickname right there. So, Red Man, such and such. And but I mean, like I said, the older we get, better we are, and more we forget, ain't it?
Definitely on the forgetting part. Yeah. That's all I got, guys.
All righty. Well, Coach Crigger, we appreciate you coming in
Hey,
today.
no problem.
Best of
I
luck for
enjoy
this
it.
evening.
I enjoy it. Anytime, anything I can do for y'all to help, just let me know. I can send you some players up here, and
We thought you was talking about sponsorship.
That all goes to Twin Valley High School.
I hear you.
That goes all to Twin Valley.